That was Tony Robbins, y'all. That was a little Tony Robbins for you. Uh, Hopefully, if you're in a place to take some notes, that would have been a good thing to take some notes on. I'll review it. But those three S's will allow us, right? Because a lot of times, remember the thesis here, you change your thinking, you change your life, right? So if we're going to change the outcomes, we're going to change what we're experiencing, we have to kind of understand how we get to those places, right? So three things that he named, right? And I'll start with the last one that he said, which is changing your state. Changing your state, right? How you show up, right? It says it determines how you're going to think and feel. Changing your state is key. It's something that we have to learn how to do, right? Once we get to the place where we're experiencing something that we don't want to experience, the easiest way to get out of it is to change our state. How do we do that? I like to change my body, change my movement, right? Like actually if you are in a depressive state, an anxious state, right? You have these thoughts and feelings going through your body, move your body differently. Breathe differently. If you ever go to any type of, meditation or you focus on your breath, it changes your state immediately if you can change something within your body. And so that's a key. Sometimes we don't know those things, right? I had to learn that. Sometimes we don't know how to get ourselves out of a bad mood. If you're having a bad day, here you go, Rob. I dropped that in the chat for you. If you're having a bad day, you wake up again on the wrong side of the bed type of thing. Do you know how to get yourself out of it? And the way that Tony Robbins said is changing your state. I used to give people this example. If somebody, pisses you off when you're driving and right, you got a little road rage or whatever, they cut you off, or, people are crazy out there on the road and you feel differently, right? You're a little angry, you're a little anxious, whatever you are, paste a smile on your face for like a minute. Have you ever just like fake smiled before a long period of time? Like just smile. Try to do it for 60 seconds. Try to do it for 2 minutes. I bet you your state changes just from a change in our physiology, a change in how we're using our facial muscles. That change will then change how we're thinking and feeling. It's not possible to keep a smile on your face, to change your state, to change your facial muscles for a long extended period of time and your thoughts not change. Try it. Try it. Next time you're upset or you're angry or something crazy is happening, right? Just smile. Just as long as you can. Not for like 10 seconds. Like I'm talking like a minute, 2 minutes. Try. That is the catalyst of how we change our state. It's changing our body, changing our physiology. I think working out and exercise is one of those things that also people need to focus on to get them in a better state so that the other two can now also be changed. Second thing he said was changing your story. So changing your state changes your story. What is the story that we are playing in our mind that is getting us the results that we have? It's a story. We all have a story playing. We all have a movie playing in our mind. And me and my wife's therapist talk about this. Like she says, right? She draws a diagram of, right, in relationships, like you have a story that you're playing in your mind, and you have a story, right? And the movie scene that's playing in your mind, right? The other person doesn't know necessarily what that story is, but everyone is playing a story. There's something you are telling yourself on repeat that has gotten you the results that you have now. Some of those stories may have served you in a season. Some of those stories don't serve you at all anymore. So, are you aware of the story that you're telling yourself around your health, around your finances, around what you're capable of, what your family life is like? There's a story playing in there. So, we have to identify those things if we want to be able to change it. Lastly, you said you got to have a strategy. Most of us have a strategy. Most people have a strategy. We live in information where like you have a strategy of what you believe can work for you. But if we haven't addressed the other two, if we haven't addressed the story that's playing in our mind and typically the state that we're in that creates the story or creates what we're feeling, then the strategy doesn't matter. We can all know the right thing to do, but we just don't do the things that we know. Why? Because we haven't addressed our state. We haven't addressed the things that are playing in our mind. And so take those notes down. Tony Robbins talks a lot about this. I recommend you dive in if you do want to do more of this type of work. He talks a lot about this stuff. That's what his whole basically last 40, 50 years of coaching people is really about. If you've ever been to a Tony Robbins event, like a UPW event or any Unleash the Power Within, right? Any of these events, when you go there, what you notice is he changes your state. He changes your state. He gets you jumping. He gets you moving. He gets you moving your body and doing all different types of things. Why? Because he knows by changing your state, it'll help you change your story. You'll get different thoughts. You'll start to experience different things, which will then get you to adapt the strategy that you know will actually work for you. But it all starts with changing your state. It all starts with changing your state. And like I said, I believe, and a lot of very successful people believe that one of the things that can change your state the quickest is focusing on your health. It's focusing on the movement of your body. Focusing on the movement of your body. If I pull this up in 177 mental toughness secrets of the world class, right? It says champions know that abundant health begins with body weight, but it's really about this mindset around focusing on your body. That's the fastest way to change your state. If you sit all day at a job, if you're at a desk all day, go take a walk. On your lunch break, if they give you one, hopefully they do. If you're at a job, they give you a little break, 30-minute, 45-minute, an hour, whatever it is. Take 10 minutes to eat sitting down, and then take the other rest of your time to walk, to move your body differently. And I bet you when you sit back down at that desk, your state will be different. You'll have a different thought. It's almost like, you hear people say, like, I had to clear my mind. I had to take a walk and clear my mind. That's where that comes from. It's like, oh, I had to change my body and do different things with my body so I could think differently and feel something different. So I challenge us all to start with our health. Here's what it says. It says professional performers know the foundation of good health is weight control. They know disease often begins when body weight is disproportionate. Champions focus on diet and exercise to manage their weight and overall health. They also know the real secret to weight control is commitment and mental toughness. The poverty, working, and middle class tend to believe the right diet is the key to weight loss and control. The great ones realize the best diet in the world is worthless without decision and commitment. They also know they are in total control of what they eat and how they exercise. And if they slip out of balance in this area, that they are quick to get back on track. Taking control of weight through conscious choice is a fast track to ascending to the world-class levels in other areas of your life. For those who wish to ascend to greatness, this is a great place to begin. The confidence and power being thin and healthy will give you cannot be overestimated. So just the importance of understanding that our health is one thing that we have full control over. I know that there might be a story, right? And again, Tony Robbins said, right, you might have the story of, oh, I have a slow metabolism. Oh, right, like I'm big boned. I've always been big. I've always had these issues. These issues run in my family, right? I have it. Like that could be a story, but the difference is you can take full control over those things. I just had this conversation with a lady too, and not diving all the way in on the health train, but just know health is wealth, right? Like all the stuff that we're working towards. Remember, if you're going to design your ideal life needs to have you in it, meaning like you need to be vital and healthy and able to move your body and experience the things you want to experience. So health is the foundation. I used to do, right? We shut the podcast down, but it was called The Good Life, where we talked health and wealth, right? Because health is foundational. It's foundational stuff, right? And so understanding, I was just talking to somebody about this, that like a lot of times we make up this story of like, this runs in my family, right? This, like these diseases, this whatever runs in my family. And that can be true. But a lot of times the reason why it runs in the family is because the family has similar patterns. They have similar eating habits. They come from similar places, right? Have similar exercise habits. That's actually where a lot of it comes from. It's not that genetically, of Of course, there's some forms of right things being passed down genetically, but a lot of times this can be controlled as the individual. Tom Bilyeu is one of these people. Tom Bilyeu, who does impact theory, said he used to be extremely overweight. Why? Because his entire family was overweight. So they had habits and eating patterns that didn't serve them, that didn't help them get to the life that they wanted. So he changed that trajectory. He said, I'm going to focus on my health. He goes on a journey. He creates a company, right, that focuses on health, right, that puts nutritious products in people's bodies, right? And he changed that. He could have had the story of, this is how my family is, this is how they've been, and that's how I'm going to be. But he changed it. So when it comes to our health, we have that control. That's why it's a great place to start to change your state, because you fully control it. No one external. No one external tells you what to put in your mouth to eat. No one external tells you exactly what you should be eating, right? When you're an adult, right? As a kid, yeah, but as an adult, you might be influenced by the people around you and what they're eating, right? If you're trying to be vegan and everyone around you is eating meat and doing all types of, right, like eating things that aren't good, over time, that probably either wouldn't be a good relationship or you're going to slip back into eating what they eat, because that's influence. But no one actually controls what you eat, and no one controls how you move your body. You could wake up in the morning and do some stretches. You could do some Pilates. You could do some, right, some exercise. You can go to the gym. You can walk. You can, like, you control all of those things. Look, Robert's out on a walk right now. See, changing his state, listening to something good, moving his body. Man, his day is going to start off a lot different than somebody that just rolls out of bed, goes, sits at an office and sits in a desk, just, right? Just because of state. So we got to understand how all this stuff ties in. Because remember, the goal is to design your ideal life. Your ideal life. And if you want to design your ideal life, all of these components matter. So back to Tony Robbins, if we're going to those 3 S's, right? We got to change our state. We got to make sure that we understand how to think and feel differently, what that does, how we have to move our body so that we can get that, right? We got to pay attention to the stories that we're telling ourselves. The story of your life, the story of why you can or can't do whatever you want to do. Remember that good old saying, whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, either way, you're right. Whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, either way, you're right. I can't do that. You're right. I can do that. You're right. So which side do you choose to be on? Hopefully you're on the side of the positive. Hopefully you're on the side of I can do all things, right? Like hopefully you're on that side. But at the end of the day, that's the story. And lastly, do you have the strategy? I believe most of us have the strategy. You know what to do. Just are we doing what we know? That becomes the question. But that's how we start to now shift our life, right? How we start to make the necessary changes that we need in order to get our life to where we want it, right? These are the small things. We keep coming back to the little thesis here, right? These are the small things that we got to do that take us far, all the way down that path. My buddy says, right, it's doing the 20% of things that give you 80% of the results. It's doing the 20% of things that give you 80% of the results, right? And these are the 20% of things, the things we talk about on these mindset calls. These are the 20% of things. The focusing on the vision, the learning how to manage your state, paying attention to your mindset, right? Like these are the 20%. So I challenge you to do all this stuff. This quote from Steve Siebold says, the significant step you can take on the road to world-class success and fulfillment is to get your body weight under control. The confidence you will gain as a result will carry over into every other area of your life. If you need confidence in your financial life, in your spiritual life, in your relationships, in your business, if you need more confidence in your life, control your health, because you fully control it. You fully control it. You can say today what you will or won't eat. You can say today how you will or won't move your body. Like that's all on you. And when we start to take control of that, again, changes our state. If you're feeling down, you're feeling depressed, change your state. You're feeling scared, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling hopeless, you're feeling any of those things, change your state. You're feeling fearful, feeling angry, like change it. Just get up, do some push-ups, right? Do some pull-ups, go take a walk, go take a run. Change your state. It's Huge, huge unlock, guys. So action step for today says give yourself a mental toughness reality check. Some of you might want to do this, some of you might not. Remove all your clothes and stand in front of a full-length mirror and write a paragraph on what you see. Next, ask this critical thinking question. What level of consciousness does my body reflect? Is it poverty class, working class, middle class, upper class, or world class? Look at yourself. You gotta be able to look at yourself. This is an extreme way, right? To look at yourself fully. I don't know when you've last done that. Just fully you in the mirror, nobody else, just you and your body. Whenever the last time you did that, maybe today's another time to do it. And then ask yourself, where does my body, like, what does my body look like? What level of consciousness is this reflecting? Is this a world-class consciousness? Is this someone that's made a commitment and a decision to their health, made a commitment and a decision to saying, I'm going to treat one, like everything, I'm going to do one thing is how I do everything, right? So if I make a commitment like this, did I make this commitment in business? Did I make this commitment to my family? Did I make this commitment, right, to my vocation? Did I make this commitment to my health or to my spiritual life? Like, where am I dropping the ball? And your body will be able to maybe point some of those things out to you if you don't already know. Awareness is key, though, ladies and gentlemen. Awareness is key. That's the only way we get better, is if we're aware of where we currently are. Don't run from it. Don't hide from it. Be completely, brutally honest with yourself. In the book, it calls it objective reality, knowing exactly where you are. It's the only way we can start to plan to get to where we want to go, right? I love you guys. Want y'all to win. You deserve it. These are the little things, the 20% of things that give you 80% of the results. I want you to practice this stuff. Give yourself this weekend some time to go change your state, move your body, do something a little bit different that your body's not used to. Add in a health routine, change something about the way you're eating. Know that this is still a long-term process, just like us going to get to our goals and dreams is a long-term process. There's no microwavable way to get there, but you'll get there as long as you continue to work, y'all. I love y'all. Enjoy your weekend. I will see you back here on Monday for another one. Take care.